Pablo, thank you so much for joining us. You can see we're in the middle of a party here where we've launched our event. So thank you. You're coming to our launch event. Thank you so much. And maybe I could just ask you to take a couple minutes and just tell us a little bit about your background in coming to the crypto space, then coming to the NFT space and becoming what is now, I guess, one of the world's most significant collectors of NFTs. I'm going to put myself on mute for you to answer so that you don't hear all the background noise. Thanks so much.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, I'll try to be brief. I'm an economist and mathematician. I've worked in finance for the early part of my career. I also have an MBA. And since then, I was still very young. I've been mostly focused on the blockchain space, which really falls under all the interest that I had before that. And during that journey in the blockchain space as an investor and as an advisor, I found out about Decentraland and the concept of the metaverse, digital land, and NFTs. And I immediately associated with that thought. And from there, I have been growing. And I also saw what was happening in the art space. I saw an incredible amount of innovation and of talent being unlocked by this technology. And I've also had because of family and also my wife, who is a designer and architect, I've always been surrounded by art and architecture. And yeah, that's a little bit of how I started in the space. And yeah, now we are focused on Lot 555, which has become not only the most significant digital art collection in the world, but also the home to a lot of artists and creators from the space that really have a very strong relationship. So it's been a fantastic journey. I'm very happy to be here.
No, it's been an incredible journey, and as I recall, you were an early supporter of people who are now incredibly famous, people like Beeple. When you first came to the space, what were you thinking about in terms of which artists really resonated with you personally, and you thought eventually other collectors would see the value of, but at the time, perhaps nobody really knew what they were looking at?
So that's a great question, and kind of goes hand in hand with what I saw in the space as a whole. But I would say that two things. Like everybody, obviously, I need to have that. I needed to find them aesthetically pleasing. But I was always very focused on other things as well, because I believe there's a lot of talent, but it takes a lot more to make a great career and to really put masterwork. So what I always say is that I really I don't have a particular style that I've been focused on, but I've always been the one thing that all the works in the collection shares, that they're all executed to perfection and all part of a collection of a grander plan of, not just creators waking up one day and putting out a work because they felt like that, but everything really coming into place as part of a bigger play. And I really like that, finding that depth, that thoughtfulness around creators' career. And that's very, very, very important for me. So yeah, both with Beeple, with PAC, with Hackatao, with there's with ARC, of course, who is one of my absolute favorite creators. Yeah, the reason is they're always striving for perfection, and they're the best at what they are. And yeah, it's been again incredible to see people really, really innovate and really push the boundaries of what can be done. And the technology has allowed for this explosion of innovation. So again, those creators that really focused on embracing the technology, on being part of the community, on executing properly, I think that's what's engaging and demanding. So I've been following that.
No, that's fantastic. Well, it's a good time to pivot to talking about ARC. We're very privileged to have worked with ARC on creating the Bells NFTs, the series of NFTs. And during that period, I've interacted with him an awful lot. We've bought some of his pieces that he's recently dropped, which has been great. Maybe tell us a little bit about how you may have met ARC, or some of the first interactions you had with him, to context him as an artist.
Certainly. Well, ARC really fit the model that I just described slightly earlier, where he was really the best at what he was doing, and because of that, we part of what we do is that we get in contact with all the creators, and we got in contact with ARC, and what we found is that there was so much depth and understanding and knowledge and kindness from this person. And to be honest, he's really not only one of my favorite creators because of the work he does, but he's one of my favorite people in the space as well. This is a person that is always helping everybody in the community, that is always engaging, and that produces the most outstanding work, in my opinion, the most soothing work in the world. And I think he's going to be, a very important leader of the space. And without getting too much into the details, but he also, has some disabilities that really make his story and what he does and everything that surrounds him, even more grand, because it's really, I'm not exaggerating when I say that this individual is truly one of a kind, and he's loved by absolutely everybody in the community. He's been an incredible advocate of the space, and I think we wouldn't be here without him. So it's great to see him do what he does, and I'll be certainly supporting him throughout his career.
Well, that's great. I mean, our experience has been tremendous, and he's been such a great partner to us. Look, you've been generous with your time. I know you're busy with auctions even tonight, so thank you so much. Just before we close off, you were really helpful in the beginning of this process. I know you always supported the concept we had of creating a token with a great artist that had some really great membership benefits to go with it. Maybe if we could just close off with any final thoughts you have for us. And of course, we really look forward to working with you in the future and supporting your collections.
Well, thank you. The pleasure has been mine. And again, it has been extremely easy and engaging, because that project really represents everything that I seek for when I look at creations, like when I speak to creators. You're innovating on the space. You're putting out together a thoughtful approach, a good project together that is desirable, that adds value to the space, and that is properly executed. And I love what you're doing. I think it's engaging, it's innovative, and I think it's one of the projects that I would like to be involved with. So it's been an absolute pleasure, and I think you're going to be a referent in the space. So congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, Pablo. I really appreciate you taking some time tonight, and we're looking forward to doing more together over time and speaking again in the future. Have a great night. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you very much for your time. The pleasure was mine. Enjoy the show. And next time I'll try to be there in person.
Okay, good stuff. Bye-bye.